Hey you guys, it's Marnie. Welcome back. And I'm here today with Dr. Mecca Carter-Marshall of Ohio. Her website is Unspoken Courage. And we are going to be talking today about stepping into the light. I want to just introduce her to you real quick. Mecca brings messages of hope that will leave you inspired and determined to move forward, stepping into the light with transparency. She holds a Ph.D. in law and public policy, master's degrees in criminal justice and pastoral counseling, serves as an assistant professor and an instructor mentor at Liberty University. She's one of our featured speakers at womenspeakers.com. Welcome to you, Mecca.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is it Mecca or Mika?
Mecca.
Okay, I was thinking I had it right, and I wanted to just confirm. I don't want to say it wrong the whole time here. Oh my goodness. Well, that is quite a combination of degrees and areas of interest that you have. Just very shortly, just tell us how is it that God brought you into that combination of areas of expertise?
Actually, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I had some challenges in my family, and I vowed to learn to help women that struggled with some of the things that my mom struggled with, and the women that I connected with during her journey. And I started school and started ministry around that very topic.
Wow, that is so amazing. And life continues to be tough. You were just telling me beforehand, you just had an interesting 24 hours here. Yeah. You know, one of the things that people are wondering about is it just stepping into the light when it's a sunshiny day, or can we step into the light in the middle of a dark night?
Actually, you can step into the light in the middle of a dark light. Dark night. That is what my message really centers around. We have our past, and not all of us have made decisions that we are proud of. But when you give your life to God truly, and you believe in him, and you believe that he gave his son to us to die on the cross and all is forgiven, that is your permission to forgive yourself. And that is your permission to no longer stay in the dark and hide behind the things that have happened to you, the things that you probably have caused sometimes, depending on our choices. But that's what God does. You know, he's always forgiving. He's merciful. And if he can forgive us and open his arms to us, then we have the permission and the power to forgive ourselves. And with that, that's what my message is. Once you forgive yourself and once you accept that, you can walk forward. And the only thing that's waiting for you when you give your life to Christ is light.
Yeah, I love it. I like the analogy, and I'm going to have you address this from your perspective, but I like the analogy of walking into a pitch black gymnasium. You've never been in there. You don't know how it's laid out. You have to get to the other side and it's pitch black. You know how gymnasiums are. Yes. Yes. And you're just kind of tiptoeing your way through this black space because you don't know what's in there.
Right.
And so you have to go very slowly, cautiously. If it's me, I'm scared to death. But then somebody just turns on the lights. All of a sudden, good to go, you know? And that's the difference. We're just walking in the dark until the light of Jesus shines in our space, and it changes everything.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you're in that light, that's the transparency I talk about. Once you're in that light, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Because although you came from a dark space, that is what allows us to connect with each other. You know, that's what allows us to own our truths and to be just what God wants us to be. We are not perfect. We are very imperfect, in fact, but we're perfect in his light. And that's what that's all about. So it's okay to be in that dark gym, because if it was me, I've spent a lot of times in that dark gym. And when I could not see with my eyes where I was going, that's when I leaned to the Lord. And he was the one that guided my steps when I couldn't see where I was going. Right. And it brought me into the light, and I just want to bring people with me. You know, I'm no expert, but I just believe that he allowed me to be a vehicle for people to take that journey with.
I want to talk a little bit more about the authenticity, the transparency. So one of my favorite quotes is, everything in the light, so Satan has nothing to use against me in the dark. Right. And a lot of times, the only reason we aren't seeing light is because we are trying to hide from God. You know, it's like he's right there. He's willing to brighten up our day and our spirits, but we're the ones that are holding back. Why do you think we do that?
Shame. shame and trying to live up to the expectations that society sets for us, and I've been there and I still do it to some degree. And I mean, when we measure ourselves by other people who are human just like us, we find ourselves feeling shame. We find ourselves feeling embarrassed by some of the things that we have done, some of the things that we have said, things that we have experienced. That's normal. And there's no judgment there, but it comes with faith. It comes with first understanding that you cannot hide anything from God. He sees it all.
Right.
And if he sees it and he still loves you, then no one else can measure up to that. If your Father in heaven loves you and he has embraced you after everything that you have been through, then no man can compare to that. And I say it easier than it can actually happen. But that's okay. That's the process, but it's taking it one day at a time and letting go of that shame, because even your shame and a lot of some of the things that I experienced with my mom, the choices that she made in her life, it trickled into my life. And as a young child, I was embarrassed by it, but then I learned not to be, I learned to learn from it and grow from it. And it allowed me to help other people,
Absolutely. Let's talk about easy hard, because in the reality of it, it's extremely easy. It's just flipping the switch and the light's on. It is just saying, I was wrong, forgive me, and the light's on. It's just saying, I believe that when you died on the cross, you died for all my sins, past, present, and future. But when it comes to actually doing it, we've got a bunch of baggage and a bunch of bad tapes playing in our head that make it a little harder sometimes, especially in some areas of our lives. And we can see this. Some people struggle in this area, other people struggle in that area, but everybody struggles somewhere. So when we've got bad messages playing in our head, I'm just saying, like lies, like they're not truth. They're not the truth of God, but they feel true to us.
Right.
How do you help a woman move from that stuck over to the lights on? I can see clearly now.
Positive affirmations, because just the way you speak that negativity into you, you can speak it out of you as well, and
truth. Speaking truth.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And then one of the hardest things that we do is removing ourselves from situations that remind us of that place, that make it hard for us to get those voices out of our heads and to keep that negativity there. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we face is you got to remove yourself from that. If it's people, if it's places, if it's things, that's the first step that you want to do. You remove that because we can speak it in us, but it has to be around us.
Yeah, one of the things I really love is that the way that God's made this work is that we don't have to produce anything ourselves. We're fruit bearers. So it's like, where's my hand here? We're fruit bearers. And so it's like we aren't actually doing the work of producing the fruit. We're actually just being there so the fruit can be produced through our relationship with Christ. And it's such a freeing position to know I don't have to fix all this. I just have to get into that submissive position that allows God to fix it in my life. And it's so freeing to actually step into the light after being in the dark for a long time, and sometimes you guys, when you're coming out of the dark and you've been there a long time, it can be a bright light and maybe a little overwhelming at first. I know when Jesus heals me of stuff that I maybe didn't even know I had wrong thinking going on. And then he heals me. It is so overwhelming. I'll just be crying and so happy to be free of that lie, free of that stuckness.
Yes. And I understand that. And that's what I offer when I deal with the people that come to me in pain. It's not perfection. We're none of us perfect, but I just share my experiences. I take their hands and I try to walk with them for as long as they will allow me.
Well, Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited that you are doing this, that you are available to speak. You recently did this topic at a seminar, and we're excited to share with other people their ability to have you come and speak to their groups as well. You can learn more about Mecca over at womenspeakers.com or at her own website, which is unspokencourage.com. I love the name of your website. Love your ministry and what you do. Do you have a favorite verse right now, or maybe a theme verse for life?
I think it will come from, I have plenty, but one that I jotted down for today is actually on my website is wait on the Lord and be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait on the Lord, and taking courage to me is opening up, and just accepting what's in there,
being willing.
Right. We can't hide from ourselves. So the sooner we accept ourselves and embrace ourselves with all of our imperfections, we can begin to heal those areas of ourselves that we want to heal.
I'm having this picture right now of the different kinds of courage that it takes. Some of it is just as easy as saying, you have a little speck on your face. Oh, okay. Right. And others, it's like open heart surgery or a root canal or something. And it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But yet we know that if we will just, like you said, open ourselves up to the truth and the light of Jesus Christ, it changes everything going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just show up for ourselves.
Show up. Show up. Mecca, thank you, darling.
Thank you.
And thanks you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.